Somewhere right now, someone is signing paperwork on a brand new 2026 F250. They're excited. They should be. It's a great truck. Ford has built that reputation one model year at a time, and the 2026 earns every bit of it. But in a few months, they're going to see what Ford was quietly building while they were signing. Here's the thing about buying a Super Duty. These trucks aren't impulse purchases. You're not trading this thing in 2 years from now. Whatever you drive off the lot with, you're probably living with for the better part of a decade, towing with it, working out of it, putting real miles on it. Which means the model year you choose actually matters. It's not just a number on a window sticker. The 2027 Ford F250 is not a minor refresh. Ford just rewrote the engine lineup from the ground up, blew the doors open on the Tremor package, and dropped a truck that changes what base model even means on a Super Duty. This is the kind of model year update that, 5 years from now, people are going to point to as the moment things shifted for this generation of Super Duty. Today I am giving you 6 specific reasons why waiting for this truck might be the smartest move you make this year. And I want to be upfront. This isn't a video telling you the 2026 is bad. It isn't. This is a video making sure you have the full picture before you sign anything. Stay with me through reason number 1. That one has never existed on a Super Duty before, and it changes the entire conversation around the work truck. Reason 6. The standard engine just got a serious upgrade. For years, stepping up from the base 6.8-liter V8 meant paying extra for real power. That changes for 2027. The 7.3-liter Godzilla V8 is now standard from XLT trim and up. 430 horsepower. 485 pound-feet of torque. Standard. Not an option box you check and pay for. Built in. Think about what that actually means at the dealership. Under the old structure, the 6.8-liter V8 came standard on XLT, and Godzilla sat above it as the upgrade. You'd see that bigger number on the spec sheet, want it, and then watch the price climb to get it. For 2027, Ford flipped that. Godzilla is just what XLT comes with now. If you've ever optioned up a Super Duty and watched the price climb just to get the engine you actually wanted, this is the fix. Ford moved Godzilla down the lineup instead of keeping it locked behind a premium paywall. For contractors and tradespeople who live on the XLT trim because it's the sweet spot between price and equipment, that's not a small change. That's the engine you wanted, already in the truck, no upcharge negotiation required. And it's worth saying plainly, this is the same engine that owners on Super Duty forums have been calling a beast for years. Simple, naturally aspirated, built for longevity rather than peak numbers on a dyno sheet. Now it's just standard equipment. Reason 5. The diesel got simpler and more powerful. The standard output power stroke diesel is gone. Discontinued. In its place, every diesel F250 now comes with the high output 6.7-liter power stroke as the only diesel option. 500 horsepower. 1,200 pound-feet of torque. That used to be the expensive flagship engine you paid a premium to unlock. Now it's simply what you get when you check the diesel box. This is the kind of change that sounds small until you actually walk through what it used to take to get there. In the old structure, you had a standard output diesel and a high output diesel, and the difference between them was real money. Buyers who wanted maximum torque, the people pulling fifth wheels, gooseneck trailers, equipment haulers, had to pay up to get it. For 2027, that decision disappears. There's no lower-tier diesel to accidentally settle for. Order the diesel, and you get the strong one, full stop. No more choosing between the diesel you can afford and the diesel you actually want. For 2027, there's one power stroke, and it's the strong one. And for anyone cross-shopping against Ram or Chevy's heavy-duty diesels, that 1,200 pound-feet number is the kind of spec that ends arguments at the truck stop. If you're finding this breakdown useful, do me a favor and hit subscribe right now. I cover every Ford update like this one before it shows up anywhere else. It genuinely helps the channel and costs you nothing. Reason 4. Tremor finally goes where buyers have been asking for years. The Tremor Off Road Package used to be locked to specific trims and specific cab configurations. For 2027, Ford tore that wall down. Tremor is now available on every trim, including the base XL work truck, when paired with the SDX Appearance Package. And for the first time ever, Tremor is available on the crew cab with the full 8-foot bed and the 176-inch wheelbase. That combination, real off-road hardware on the configuration with the most bed space, is something Tremor owners have been asking for since the package launched. Ford listened. Go back and look at owner forums going back years, and this exact request shows up over and over. People wanted the long bed for hauling equipment and the Tremor hardware for getting to the job site, and Ford kept those two things separated. For 2027, you don't have to choose anymore. 35-inch tires, factory lift, electronic locking rear differential, skid plates, rock crawl mode, trail control, all of it, now available on the work truck trim and the long bed crew cab at the same time. If you spend your week on logging roads, ranch land, or job sites that don't have pavement, this is the package that used to force a compromise. Either you got the off-road hardware or you got the bed length you actually needed for your trailer and equipment. Not both. For 2027, both is finally on the table. Reason 3. The work truck trim isn't being left behind anymore. Historically, if you wanted off-road capability, you paid up into the higher trims. The Base XL was for people who just needed a truck that worked. Vinyl seats, basic infotainment, no frills. And if you wanted ground clearance or locking differentials, the conversation immediately moved to XLT or above. For 2027, Ford built a new XL off-road package specifically for that buyer. Factory ride height increase, 35-inch tires, limited slip front differential, electronic locking rear differential. This is aimed squarely at fleet buyers, contractors, and anyone who wants serious capability without paying for leather seats and a touchscreen they don't need. You get the hardware. You skip the luxury markup. Think about the buyer who's speccing out a fleet of work trucks, or the rancher who needs a truck that can get to the back pasture in any weather but doesn't care one bit about heated seats. For that buyer, this is the package that's been missing for years. Real off-road components, bolted to the trim that's actually priced for working trucks instead of weekend trucks. Reason 2. Towing numbers just climbed into territory that used to require a bigger truck. Equip a 2027 F250 4x4 with the 7.3-liter gas engine and the Tremor package, and the max conventional tow rating hits 18,200 pounds. That is a number that used to make people cross-shop into F350 territory. For 2027, the F250 is closing that gap. Think about what 18,200 pounds actually covers. Larger travel trailers, equipment trailers loaded with skid steers or compact excavators, toy haulers packed for a week at the track. These are loads that, not long ago, would have had a salesperson steering you straight to the F350 the moment you mentioned them. If you've been telling yourself you need to step up to the bigger truck just to get the tow rating you want, this update means that conversation just changed. And that matters for your wallet too. The F350 typically carries a real price premium over the F250, on top of the dually option if you go that route. If the F250 can now cover the towing job you actually need done, you may not have to pay for capability you were never going to use to begin with. Quick reminder, if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications. We're about to get into reason number 1, and it's the one that's never existed on a Super Duty before. Reason 1. A brand new package that's never existed before. Ford and Carhartt just built their first ever production vehicle collaboration. The Super Duty Carhartt package, available on XLT trim. Unique wheels designed around the look of manhole covers outside Carhartt's Detroit store. New paint colors including a dark Neptune blue exclusive to this package. A textured paint protection graphic along the doors and tailgate that actually shields the lower panels from rock chips and mud. 14 Carhartt logos inside and out, including embroidered headrests. This isn't a sticker package. It's Ford building a truck specifically for the people who already wear Carhartt to work every day, and giving them a factory option that looks and feels like it was designed by people who actually understand the job site. Ford and Carhartt designers reportedly spent time at Carhartt's own Detroit storefront pulling design cues directly from the building and the brand, which is why details like the wheel design feel intentional instead of slapped on. The catch: you can't pair it with Tremor or the black appearance package. So if off-road capability is the priority, Tremor still wins that decision. But if you want a Super Duty that looks like nothing else on the lot, that's instantly recognizable in a parking lot full of white work trucks, Carhartt is a first. This is Ford putting real design effort into a segment of buyers who usually get ignored by anything other than a basic appearance package. Final verdict. 6 reasons. The 7.3 Godzilla moving down to standard equipment on XLT makes the entry point to real power cheaper than it's ever been. The high-output Power Stroke becoming the only diesel option means there's no more compromise engine. Tremor landing on the base XL trim and the long bed crew cab opens up combinations buyers have wanted for years. The new XL off-road package brings real capability to the work truck without the luxury price tag. The 18,200-pound tow rating closes the gap with the F350. And the Carhartt package gives Super Duty buyers a factory look that has never existed before. Stack all 6 of these together, and you start to see what Ford was actually doing here. This isn't a handful of unrelated trim tweaks thrown at a spec sheet. It's a coordinated push to make the entry and mid-tier trims, XL and XLT, dramatically more capable than they've ever been, without forcing buyers to climb all the way to Lariat or King Ranch just to get real hardware. The 2027 F250 is not a full-generation redesign. What Ford is delivering is a major lineup update with real improvements across powertrain, off-road capability, and trim strategy. If you have any flexibility on timing, these are 6 real reasons to wait. Now, that doesn't mean the 2026 is a bad buy. If you need a truck on the lot today for a job that starts this month, the 2026 F250 is still one of the most capable trucks you can drive off a dealership lot. Nothing here makes that truck worse. It just means the calculus changes if you can hold out. The 2027 Ford Super Duty order banks are open right now. Trucks are expected to start arriving at dealers later this year. Which of these 6 reasons matters most to your situation? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you've got a buddy cross shopping the 2026 right now, send this to him before he signs anything. And before you go, if this video helped you make a smarter decision, subscribe to the channel. New Ford content drops regularly, and subscribing means you don't miss the next breakdown before you're standing at the dealership. See you in the next one.